world's richest man versus the artificial intelligence golden boy.
That group of investors is reportedly making a $97.4 billion bid.
Elon Musk-led group is making a $97.4 billion bid for control of OpenAI. Is OpenAI for sale? Does that matter?
The company is not for sale. Neither is the mission. We're happy to buy Twitter if you want to talk about that.
Elon Musk just tried to buy OpenAI, the company that owns ChatGPT, for $97 billion. This is part of an ongoing feud between Elon Musk and Sam Altman, who is the owner of OpenAI. Now, this goes back a very long way, so I'm going to run you through the whole history of Elon Musk and Sam Altman and how we got here. Let's jump right in. All right, so here's the headline. Elon Musk offers to buy ChatGPT for $97 billion. This is OpenAI that they're trying to purchase to take a controlling share in the company. And a statement from one of their lawyers says it's time for OpenAI to return to the open source, safety-focused force for good it once was. We will make sure this happens. Okay, so this story goes back a long, long way. So we're going to jump into that whole history. But before we do, I just want to give you a little bit more context on what's happening here with this proposed buyout. So Musk has had a long feud with OpenAI and Sam Altman. We'll get into that as well. The statement here from his lawyer says, if Sam Altman and the present OpenAI board of directors are intent on becoming a fully for-profit corporation. So if you don't know, the reason it's called OpenAI is because it was once an open source company. So the whole goal was to create AI in an open source environment for safety reasons. They moved away from that to make money, became extremely profitable, and became the ChatGPT that we know today. So basically they're saying our intent on becoming a fully for-profit corporation, it is vital that the charity be fairly compensated for what its leadership is taking away from it, control over the most transformative technology of our time. And then he goes on to have the statement of it's time for OpenAI to return to its open source, safety focus, blah, blah, blah. So what's really interesting about this is that they've been saying now, they've been claiming that the nonprofit is valued about $40 billion. So it's kind of odd that they're not willing to sell it for $97.4 billion. So there's something kind of strange about that. And Sam Altman himself just came out and said, no, thank you, but we will buy Twitter for $9.74 billion. So 1/10 of what they're offering OpenAI of $97.4 billion. So sort of a little like jab here at Sam Altman. And then Elon Musk immediately replies and calls him a swindler. Very juicy here. A ton to get into. So let's get into the backstory here of how this all started. So I'm going to get into this. So I got this all from Grok. The reason I use Grok's AI for this, not because I have any bias towards Musk or anything like that. Actually, Grok does a really good job of giving full background information on stories like this. And it actually gives you up-to-date info directly from X. Right? So X has this huge treasure trove of up-to-date information. So everything you get here is up-to-date with all the latest information. So that's why I like to use Grok for this kind of thing. And it's actually pretty unbiased. It'll give you a ton of negative stuff about Elon Musk. He's not doing anything from what I can see to push the bias away from him and make him look like a saint. It's pretty unbiased. So essentially this all started in 2010 when Sam Altman and Elon Musk met in Silicon Valley. Altman was a rising figure through his work in Y Combinator. Y Combinator is like one of the biggest, tech companies in San Francisco that sponsors smaller companies and basically builds them up. They invest in tiny little startups, grow them into huge startups, and make a ton of money. It's called venture capital. They do this a lot. So he was basically working for Y Combinator, was making a ton of money, and they met. And yeah, they had a good relationship at that time. They began exchanging emails in 2014 about AI, artificial intelligence, and its potential dangers. This is important. And they shared a mutual concern that AI could pose existential risks to humanity if not guided responsibly. Okay, so they both thought at the time, this was 11 years ago, 2014, that AI could be a big risk for humanity, and they shared that thought, right? So they started OpenAI. So Elon Musk and Sam Altman started this company together. And the goal here was to compete with Google, who at the time was sort of the leader in AI with their DeepMind project. So their whole goal was to start OpenAI together and have this open source AI to compete with Google, create AI in a safe way that's open source that will help humanity. Musk and Altman, along with other co-founders like Greg Bachman, Ilya Sutskever, Reid Hoffman, Peter Thiel, established OpenAI as a nonprofit. Their mission was to develop AGI, artificial general intelligence, in a way that is most likely to benefit humanity as a whole, unconstrained by a need to generate financial return. This becomes really important later on. Musk becomes a significant financial backer, contributing around $50 million, serving co-chair along Altman. funding group pledges $1 billion collectively to support OpenAI, and Musk plays a key role in attracting the initial talent and convincing researchers like Ilya to join OpenAI from Google. So Musk played a huge role in the development of OpenAI, and he entrusted this with Sam Altman to become this open source organization that would, develop AI responsibly. Okay, this is where things go bad. So essentially, there's a few other things in between, but in early 2018, Musk grows frustrated with OpenAI's progress, basically feeling like it's slowing and it's not taking off and they're really getting behind. He proposes taking control of OpenAI and running it himself, potentially merging it with Tesla. Altman and the other founders, including Greg Brockman, reject Musk's proposal, leading to a power struggle. Musk reneges and a planned substantial donation and resigns from OpenAI's board. Okay. This is where they basically split. They weren't necessarily enemies at this time, they just split, right? So Altman and Musk actually collaborated briefly on Neuralink together, so they were still friends. Now, in March 2019, OpenAI announced the creation of a capped profit subsidiary. So essentially, in order to compete and gain more money, right, to get more investment into the company, they decided to say, okay, we're not going to be fully nonprofit anymore. We're going to be capped profit. So we're going to make money from this venture, but we're not going to be totally nonprofit. This way we can attract people that want to make money with our company, and we can actually attract investors, right? Because investors don't want to invest in a nonprofit. There's no money to be made, right? But a capped profit allows them to invest and make at least some money. So that's when basically OpenAI, Altman becomes their full-time CEO and starts really going deep into this. Later on in 2019, Microsoft invests $1 billion into OpenAI and starting their partnership, right? So in 2020, Musk comes out and publicly criticizes OpenAI's partnership with Microsoft and their shift towards a for-profit model, stating OpenAI was meant to be open. Okay, so he's basically saying, hey, I helped start this company. The whole goal was open source here, and they're basically getting away from that. So as we all know, in late 2022, OpenAI releases ChatGPT to the public, and it was a massive, massive success, basically changed the world overnight. In July of 2023, Musk launches his competitor, xAI, and introduces Grok, which I'm using right now, which is a chatbot to be anti-woke, alternative to ChatGPT. ChatGPT had a lot of biases caked into it, built into it. His proposition here with Grok was to have none of those biases, and it actually does a really good job of that. Again, one of the reasons why I like to use it. And so he wants to get AGI while being truth-seeking, etc. So this is where the legal battles begin. So in March of 2024, Musk actually files a lawsuit against OpenAI. Okay, he files this against OpenAI, Altman, and Greg Brockman, alleging that the company has become a closed-source de facto subsidiary of Microsoft, violating its initial nonprofit mission. OpenAI responds by calling the lawsuit incoherent, contradictory, and accuses Musk of jealousy over the company's success without him. Blah, blah, blah. Musk expands the lawsuit to include Microsoft, alleging monopolistic practices, which Microsoft, by the way, has been sued and won for in the past. They've done a ton of monopolistic stuff in the past, and so him accusing this of this is not out of order at all, claiming that Altman and Brockman have deceived him in OpenAI's direction. OpenAI dismisses these accusations as baseless, provides emails showing Musk's earlier support for a for-profit model. So there were some earlier emails where Musk was saying, yes, we could move to a for-profit model. Again, this was to attract investment, right? They wanted to bring money into the company because they wanted to compete with Google and they had no money to do that. So the feud escalates really quickly in December of 2024 with Musk calling Altman a swindly Sam and Altman calling Musk a bully and a jerk in interviews. So this friendship that started 11 years ago has really fractured here, obviously. Sam has his own idea for the companies. Musk has his own idea of where this should go. And so, it's really taken off. Now, obviously, we all know that Musk helped Trump get elected, played a huge part in that with X, with a ton of actually, his own money involved as well in terms of, helping his campaign and things like that. So in January 2025 of this year, when basically Trump got elected, he announced the Stargate AI initiative. So part of what Trump was trying to do was bolster AI in the United States. This was before DeepSeek came out, so he must have had some inside knowledge that China was really gaining ground on US in terms of AI. So he announced this Stargate AI initiative, saying that there's going to be a $500 billion project involving OpenAI, SoftBank, and Oracle to boost the AI infrastructure. Altman appears alongside Trump at the White House, while Musk publicly questions the project, saying they don't have the money. So Musk came out on Twitter and was like, they don't have this $500 billion, right? Musk intensifies his attacks, calling Sam a swindler again and a liar on X, and reposting memes about Stargate. Altman responds, praising Musk's accomplishment, but criticizing his behavior, saying, I don't think you're a nice person, okay? So he's been trying to take the high road here, Altman. I'm not sure why. When you're getting attacked so personally like that, keep taking the high road, but he continues to do that. So Trump comments on the feud, noting Musk's dislike for Altman, but not indicating any change to OpenAI's role in Stargate. A California federal judge rules that Musk-Altman legal battle over OpenAI's for-profit status could proceed to trial. So they're going to trial for this legal battle between Musk and Altman. So this is all part of the timeline here. They're going to go to trial. Now, this is where this new investment comes in. So in February 2025, today, literally 3 hours ago, Musk makes a bid of $97.5 billion. It's an unsolicited bid to buy OpenAI's nonprofit arm, aiming to merge it with xAI, his company, and return it to its open source, safety-focused roots. Now, Elon Musk is the richest man in the world right now. I believe his net worth is around $400 billion. So $100 billion is, it's something that he could do, obviously. And if his goal really is to make this open source, safety-focused, and nonprofit again, that's a huge commitment of $100 billion to do that. Pretty unheard of to think of buying an essential nonprofit for $100 billion. So then, we showed you earlier, Sam basically came out, kind of mocked him with this, we'll buy Twitter for 1/10 of that price. And so let's get into some of the actual texts, the X posts, like the Twitter posts between the two and some of their arguments here, like their public stuff online. So again, OpenAI was meant to be open. This was a post that Musk had talked about earlier with OpenAI. And by the way, the way I got this is I basically said, show me some tweets of Elon and Sam having tweeted each other regarding to the events in the timeline. So OpenAI was meant to be open. This is where Elon Musk comes out. This is in July of 2023. I thought this was really interesting. He says, I don't trust Sam Altman. I don't think we want the most powerful AI in the world controlled by someone who's not trustworthy. My comment on this, Elon could be jealous, right? That could be a part of it. He could see the success of OpenAI and be jealous. But if Elon doesn't trust Sam, that makes me a little bit worried, right? We've seen a lot of weird stuff come out of OpenAI already. There's been a ton of controversy with that company. It has not been the standard super growth we've seen from a ton of these AI or a ton of these tech startups that come out, have this insane growth. There has been so much drama within OpenAI. There must be something going on. So I don't know what Elon is seeing in Sam, but the fact that he says he doesn't trust him, he just comes out and says, I don't trust Sam Altman. This is someone who was a friend of his, right, back in the day. So he must have a reason for not trusting him. So I'm a little worried about that. So this is kind of strange. And this was, again, in July of 2023. In March, he files his lawsuit, calling him Swindly Sam, calling him a bully. Sam is a swindler, right? So then this is where Altman starts to push back a little bit in December of 2024. He says, just one more mean tweet and maybe you'll love yourself. Okay, so this is like, Musk is calling him a swindler and I don't trust him. And Sam's saying, oh, you don't love yourself, right? This kind of like, half-hearted, but sort of definitely a personal attack back at Elon Musk, right? So then after the Stargate announcement, which we talked about, Musk says they don't have the money. Then, they push back and say, OpenAI says SoftBank has well under 10 billion secured. I have that on good authority. I'm sorry, this was Musk again. SoftBank has well under 10 billion secured. I have that on good authority. So he's saying that they don't have anywhere near the 500 billion. He calls Sam a swindler again. Sam responds, wrong. As you surely know, want to come visit the first site already underway. This is great for the country. I realize what's great for the country isn't always what's optimal for your companies, but in your new role, I hope you mostly put America first. So Altman is now sort of aligning himself with Trump, aligning himself with this America first thing. But what people don't know is Sam Altman was very against Donald Trump getting reelected. In fact, he did a lot to make sure that he did not get elected in 2021. Okay, that was a big thing. So him shifting now to be all pro-Trump, pro-America in 2025, when he sees the dollar signs rolling in and saying, yeah, I want this investment. We're America first now. Hard for me to believe personally when we know his history is very anti-Trump and now he's siding with Trump. So maybe this is sort of some of the things that Elon is seeing, right? Sort of this chameleon thing that Sam is doing here where he's basically going towards the path of least resistance, right? So he's saying, oh, it's very popular to be against Trump in 2021 or 2020, when Trump's trying to get elected. But now that Sam is Trump is elected and he's trying to get money out of Trump and trying to go for this whole AI initiative here. Now he's pro-Trump, pro-America. We'll put America first. I do see where some of that distrust might come from Musk, right? So then Sam goes on to say, I generally respect your accomplishments and think you're one of the most inspiring entrepreneurs of our time, but I don't think Musk is a nice person or treating us fairly, but you have to respect the guy and he pushes all of us to be more ambitious. Again, you kind of have to take, you kind of have to give him a little bit of respect here, Sam Altman, the way he's addressing this, right? He's not punching low like Musk is, right? He's kind of going a little bit above the belt here, saying he respects the guy, he's inspiring, he pushes us, right? So it's interesting. And then he talks about his big, beautiful buildings, right? Talking about the Stargate data centers. Musk goes on to say, Musk reposts old tweets of Sam from 2016, including one where Altman wrote about working on a project to stop Trump. This is what I was saying earlier, how basically he was working very hard to stop Trump. So Altman, being very anti-Trump, now comes out pro-Trump. And by the way, he didn't say anything pro-Trump before Trump got elected in 2025, right? The second he got elected and there's this AI initiatives, then you see Sam come out of the woodwork and say, hey, we're pro-America, and kind of, getting close to Trump, right? But even just in the last few months, he was very anti-Trump still, right? This is all changing just because Trump won. And then, of course, we have the bid for OpenAI that we just talked about as well. So that's sort of the feud in a nutshell. There's a lot to go over there. So Grok did a really good job of helping me out there. So I might make a whole video on the OpenAI controversy, like all the controversies of their company. And if you want to see that, definitely drop a comment and let me know that you want to see that. If you like this video, please give it a like. It really helps me out a lot with the algorithm. And if you like this kind of content, subscribe to the channel. I do a ton of AI news. I do tutorials on AI, and I really show people how to get ahead.